love the both of y'all, but both of y'all get under my skin. But we have a great topic.
What we do to you?
Y'all wide receivers. And James, I have my fair share with you. You do like Madden routes, take you like 5 minutes to run a fucking route. Mo,
I get the ball.
Mo was the first person I ever in one-on-ones. I felt like he talked so much shit. He leaves my room, I still hear him. You ever had someone talk so much but he's still in your place? Oh, I can't wait, bro. He was honestly, Mo was the first person that made me feel like when I see you, I have to follow you wherever you go on the field. Everybody else, it was kind of like everybody else. You mean I played against Vinny, I played against Joe, I played against another person to do, but no one really made me say, I'm gonna follow you, right? Mo would not shut up, bro. I'm like, there's too much girls here at this school for you to be talking to me. Like he was like, this man was the first thing, I'm not gonna lie, he made me bust a lip. He was so pressed. This man brought his film to my room, James.
Tape.
I'm like,
VHS tape.
Well, look,
VHS
the most I ever did was I would just walk you home after the field.
but see, it's a difference though. It's just like, well, listen. And I'm not gonna lie, first rep, he gained my respect. Cause I will never forget it. Mo hit this boom, boom, soy sauce. Boom. I said, hey, he can run. I said, going forward, my new thing is chokehold. Oh, my man, Greg. What's good, Greg?
What's up, Greg?
What's happening, Greg?
What's up, man?
How y'all boys doing tonight?
Pretty good. Hey, before I get started, can y'all introduce yourselves and introduce things that's going on with yourself? Like, my man Greg, he got his A1 thing, but I'm gonna speak for himself. But James, I'm gonna start with you.
Oh, my name is James. I've known Ron since he was a baby. I'm the reason why he's strong. Because every time he dropped passes, he had to do push-ups, and he ain't never stopped since. And he still can't catch for shit.
Man,
introduce your brand, bruh.
Oh.
That's the thing.
Look, I'm just an accountant, and that's what I do for a living now.
And you have a podcast.
Yeah, I know. We good though. ASOS podcast. If you see us, you see us. If not, it's whatever.
Mo used to coach too, Greg. Coach
Flowers.
oh, okay, dude. So I used to live in Laurel. My cousin lived on the other side of Peachy. He went to Flowers.
Okay. Solid, man. I'm Mo Muhammad. I'm a part of the urban sports scene, all burgundy and gold, everything podcast. And I started my own venture this year called Set the Record Straight. I'm gonna need you guys to come on there so we could talk NFL type style, but I got to get some foundational things done first. Other than that, man, I'm just a 7th grade reading teacher, man.
Nice.
I'm a coach through and through, man. I try to, give it back everything that I got. Ain't nothing we can do with it when we gone. So
yeah,
trying to reach as many people with it as much as possible, and trying to encourage a lot of brown boys to get into some sport, some discipline, and have something to aspire for, and see how far that could take them. Let's at least get college paid for free.
Yep, absolutely.
Real quick, Mo, you related to K Karoma?
Huh?
Are you related to K Karoma, the boxing trainer?
No.
Okay,
No.
this dude.
It's probably same village, I'm sure, from back home. Back home in Africa, we probably from the same village, but I don't know him personally.
Yeah, for sure. All right, fellas, my name is Greg. I met Ron years ago, flag football teammate. We just catch up, talk every so often. I coach football at Tuscarora High School over in Leesburg, Virginia. I live in Northern Virginia.
Nice. Okay.
I coach lacrosse at Riverside High School, and you was talking about, getting brown boys involved in sports. I never thought I'd coach lacrosse till the coach reached out and said, if you coach basketball, can you help me? So, I just got involved there. So I'm trying to pull more Black kids into that avenue also.
Nice.
It is. So yeah, I turn my company's A1 Performance. You can't really see my logo there.
Okay.
I've been doing that since 2013, and yeah, that's just how me and Ron keep in touch. That's how we stay up.
Right. Hey, two quick things, James. Quick things. The story, and Greg contested this. I was talking about this the other day, but I don't want to get too long with. Greg was there that night when me and my man Adrian Moten was arguing all night about who's better between LeBron James and Kobe in the middle of a flag football game.
Oh yeah.
We would argue for 55 minutes the whole time.
You argued every.
The dude that was lined up in front of me, he said, "Y'all very disrespectful." I said, "I will let you know when you can speak to me. Right now, I got a debate." No, ask Greg though. Like ask Greg, bro, because
that is how it happened.
Now, Greg, I'm gonna give you this though. The person who sparked this up, as far as this trash talking, was this dude named Mo right here. I lie to you not. Mo knows Lamar Thomas.
Yeah.
Flash, baby.
Flash. Hey, pink hat.
Hey, on the field, Mo, I ain't gonna hold you. Mo was a little bit Lamar and plus some. He made my hamstrings work.
I was a track. I played football and I started running track to try to get fast in football. And little did I know track was my niche. So I ended up, so by the time I got to Morgan trying to walk on, I was already on the track team. I had been working out all summer. And by the time I got to running, I'm like, I bet somebody from PG, like we know how to, he a DB, we can get reps all the time. Talking trash is my favorite sport besides football. You know what I mean? Like that's my favorite thing to do, period. You know what I mean? Like
it's the game within the game.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It get the competitive juices going. Chad Johnson was my living idol.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So like Chad Johnson, Steve Smith, they were the small receivers or smallish receivers. I was like 5'11", 175, in high school. So I'm like, that's the frame that that I'm gonna embody.
Yeah.
So between him, Torrey Holt, and Steve Smith, so I just took a little bit of all of that, and I was the kid that didn't get much attention. I was at the Wing T school, so I knew I had game, but I couldn't really show much. You know what I mean? So that's the only way I can get on the scene was to let you know that I was here.
And one thing I want to shout out to James about this too, because he's one that got me humble too at the corner. James is the only dude I have guarded. It's really possible he could catch a 50-50 ball on me. And I can't figure out how the fuck he did it. You ever had that moment you guarded someone, he came down with it.
Yeah.
That's James.
We played every summer, like every day.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get to the fun stuff, because I got the guys who can talk about the fun stuff. All right, it's fun, but at the same time, I know we won't get the real. So we got a lot of coaches that are coming and they are going in the NFL. Who are two people that come to your mind that should stay, and who's one person who should stay, who's one person who should go?
Okay.
All right.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna set this off because I know this is gonna be controversial. So I got Josh McDaniels and Mike McDaniel should stay.
Okay.
And I have John Harbaugh should go. I know. I said it's controversial. Here's why. Here's the only reason why I'm saying this. He's a good coach, right? But I've heard too many things coming out of Ravens camp in regards to stuff going on over there. And they have underperformed for a minute. There's no reason why the Greg Roman should have been around as long as he has been. He should have been gone.
That's not it.
So, yeah, it kind of feels like, it's like I'm feeling the pressure now. So let me go ahead and cut the OC loose because I know that Lamar wants that. But the only other person I was split on was Kevin Stefanski for Cleveland. I get that. I see why he should go, but then also he kind of got like a little soft year just because Deshaun was out for so long. You kind of want to see what he can do with him, but at the same time, he wasn't really doing that much before anyway. So those are mine.
All right, Mo, who you got? Who you thinking of? I'm not answering none of that.
Go.
Is it that wrong, Ron?
NFL coaches that should go. Staley has to go in LA. Brandon Staley got to go.
No.
Brandon Staley got to go.
No, I want to see there.
I know why you don't want him to go. Staley got to go.
You mentioned Staley. Here's my one thing about him. I look at the game the other night, y'all got rid of Anthony Lynn for this.
Yep.
They 6 and half a dozen. You know,
Yeah.
Listen, man, this dude. First, all the egregious fourth down attempts over the past 2 seasons, right? He scaled it back a little bit this year. But in the end all be all, you lost to the team that had the #1 overall pick in the draft this past year. For the past 2 seasons, actually. They've had the #1 overall pick. You had a 27-point lead. Even though Asante Samuel was holding, he was hugging on 2 of those interceptions. But and then lastly, he's a defensive coach. How do you give up a 27-point lead? You're a defensive coach.
And they gave up 5 yards a rush.
Dude. It doesn't make any sense. I've never met a defensive coach whose first instinct was not to stop the run. And also run the ball on his team when they have the ball.
Oh, they're the worst at that too.
I think they said they ran 25 more pass plays than they ran run plays in the second half of that game, up 27. I understand. Nobody loves Justin Herbert in the world more than I do, probably his parents and his girlfriend, but me, right? Like,
he's a dog.
But run the football. Run the football.
Right.
You're a defensive coach. Preserve the game. Control the time of possession. The only way you can lose is if they get big plays. And guess what happened? Sunshine went back to Clemson on them people. I saw a wild stat the other day that said he ain't lost a game on a Saturday since ever.
Yeah. Undefeated.
Hold on, he ain't lost a game on a Saturday night, on a Saturday,
that's
ever.
Crazy. I don't care what level you play at. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That means he never lost in college, except for the national championship.
Right. Which is on a Monday.
Yeah, that's a Monday. You know what I mean? So Brandon Staley got to go. I think Ron Rivera has to stay. I think Ron Rivera has done the necessary things to make sure that think about it. This organization has been in turmoil. He came in and Daniel Snyder was like, you literally report to me. They didn't have a team president in place when he got there. There was amid the naming scandal. There was amid the cheerleader scandal. There was amid the fornicating with people on the staff scandal. He's found a way to bring football back to DC. I'm not saying it's great football. They've got a playoff appearance out of it, right? They had the heroics of Alex Smith one season, right? You bring in Carson Wentz, that experiment was failed. He has this journeyman quarterback that the area has galvanized around because we rather somebody that has limited ability that's trying really hard than somebody with all the ability that can't do jack squat, right? And to just keep this team right where they are around 500 both these 2 years without an adequate quarterback with Scott Turner, the only thing that I would say about Ron is he should have did something about Scott Turner earlier. But I understand he's old school. He's one of those defensive-minded coaches. He minds his business. He let the offense handle what they handle. And they've actually done really well under his guidance in the draft in the past 3 seasons. So a lot of their mid-round picks are really, really quality players for this team. So I want to see Ron one more year without Scott Turner.
I'll give Ron one more.
One more. And no more. If anything looks like what we've seen the past 3 seasons, he can send him on the first thing smoking. But I want to see him hopefully under new ownership, right? And with a new offensive coordinator that doesn't get in the way, because for whatever reason, Scott Turner decides he wants to throw the football 40 times a game with Carson Wentz and Taylor Heineke. Never made sense to me. So those are my 2. Staley got to go. Ron Rivera can stay one more year.
Ooh-wee, man, I feel like I got to respond to y'all first before I even give my.
Don't respond yet, Greg. Get yours out. Because listen, they long-winded. Don't say nothing.
Okay, so first and foremost, and I'm mad at this brother because I think you made a scapegoat of another brother. Todd Bowles got to go. And The reason I say that is because, again, you're supposed to be a defensive coach. You were the D coordinator for the Super Bowl team. You were the D coordinator last year, So what happened this year all of a sudden as head coach? Because Dallas ran through y'all like a hot ass knife through butter. Like there was no answer for anything. What is that, Ron?
I said, that's why I be in your DMs. You're so goddamn smart. Keep going.
Oh, I appreciate it. I mean, because I'm looking at it like, okay, so now I granted, Leftwich should have ran the ball in the red zone. He put Brady through the ball 66 times, not going to win like that. I get it. But you did nothing to stop it. Because even with 66 passes, Brady's stat line wasn't terrible, but they didn't score because you threw the ball 3 times inside the 8-yard line.
Your comment to what I just said about Ron Rivera and Todd Bowles? Defensive-minded coaches that kind of just turn their back on the offensive coordinator and tell them, do what you want to do.
And just let it rip. You know, so now somebody who I cannot understand for the life, and by the way, I'm on like a people of color like rant tonight, right? Somebody who has to stay, and I cannot understand why this dude is under the hot seat. Robert Saleh in New York. How was he on the hot seat? I'm like, okay, I get it that all of a sudden the AFC East is like randomly good. It was never this good when Brady played there, but all of a sudden, here we go. Like, you know, the Dolphins got it going. Everybody thinks the Bills are like the second coming of the 90s Broncos. Like, I get it. But that dude won.
Thanos came and took his rings back.
Yeah, see?
Thanos left with his rings. That's what happened to the AFC East.
They freaking, you know, the Jets win 2 games the year before Saleh gets there. They win 4 games last year. Then up to 7 or 8, whatever, however many games they won, you're clearly trending up. Sauce Gardner is a rookie all-pro. You finally got the defense where you want it. Zach Wilson is too busy banging people's moms, so you got to go play the quarterback market a little bit.
Jesus.
I get.
Derek Carr's available.
There's a few things to fix, but you look at his track record in San Fran to all of a sudden, you know, being competitive in a tough division now for a team that's been the ass of every joke in the New York Times for the last decade. How's this dude on the hot seat? You got a guy who wants to be there. The one thing I've learned about bad teams, you can't get rid of guys who want to be there. You know, like when John Wall said he wanted to retire in DC, Wizards, why'd you get rid of this guy who meant so much to your culture? You know, so there's so much I see it at, to which I'll say, you know, the 1 more year track, yes, Ron Rivera's on the 1 more year because he said enough in the media to go, okay, this guy doesn't really know what he's going. But on paper, and you look at what he did with Carolina, he's got the credentials to say, you know what, you get 1 more. And Todd Bowles, you get 1 more. I think he should be gone, but you get 1 more. And he fired 8 coaches today. So you firing 8 coaches tells me you didn't fire 8 coaches. General manager and ownership told you fire 8 coaches or else your ass is gone. So this is a scapegoat situation. I'm going to save myself, you know, and like Belichick did it a few times in New England. But the other part of that is too, you know, looking at all these guys that are on the, you know, 1 more year track, whatever it is. I tell you who else gets on the 1 more year train and nobody wants to talk about it. LaFleur up in Green Bay. They're bad. They're bad. They got hot because Aaron Rodgers. Think about Aaron Rodgers' statement yesterday. He said, I think I still play at an MVP caliber level. He didn't say win the Super Bowl. He said MVP caliber, which tells me homeboy turns it on thinking, I got to salvage myself in the free agent market. I don't give a damn about nobody in Green Bay, Jair Alexander, none of y'all. I got to make sure I still have some net worth when this is all said and done. But there's a lot of 1 more year guys. And I hate to say it. This pains me, and I'm going to turn it over to y'all in a second. Tomlin is on the 1 more year train.
No way.
Guys,
I'm about to mute you.
Guys, listen. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
You know what? Get some though. I mean, Vegas, please.
Hey, listen. Now, the reason I think it's lasted this long, you know, they'll say never had a losing season. 100% true. But they've gone 8-8 and missed the playoffs quite a bit. The savior for him is that he's in a sports-hungry town like Pittsburgh, who's only had 3 head coaches ever in the history of their franchise. They'd rather, it's cheaper to keep her in their eyes. Look how long they held on to Cowher. Cowher was bad forever. Tomlin is done with Cowher, some things Cowher could never do. But on that same note, there's a couple 1 more year guys, and I'm just kind of curious to see where this goes. I don't want to see that. Trust me, I would hate it.
You're lucky this show has a time frame on it, because I'm ready to choose violence for some of the things that you said.
I want to respond to Tomlin right quick.
Yeah, we're not going to. Because I got to go, James. I got to go. Y'all not going to out.
You don't.
Y'all not going to outdo me, all offensive players. Okay, mine's gonna be short and sweet. Okay?
No, why? It's good
Man,
conversation.
why?
We stay late at practice. Come on.
No. Yeah. Mo got children. Greg got a bunch of, I'm not gonna say it online, but I know Greg got his. I be catching myself. Trust me, even with my boys at O'Connell, man, I swear. Oh, that's what it is. Anyways,
I'm gonna make a run. I
got excitement though. I'm glad Greg Roman is gone because I get to submit my resume. I'm super excited. He's gone. I am with you though about Harbaugh though, and I say because
Greg Roman's gift was his curse. I'll talk about that later.
I say this just because I think we all know this, right? Where when you play long enough, and not only just play long enough, if you stay in certain circles, you understand certain messages that are cryptic to others, but you understand yourself about what's going on. The first thing I was realizing was going on in Baltimore is, why is there not an actual captain on the squad? Harbaugh made weekly captains. And that was kind of like,
that's high school shit.
That's high school.
Well, not our high school, not my high school. We didn't have no weekly captains. We had a captain. You knew exactly who you needed to report to. I already told my boys about my high school at Friendly, and it was a couple other programs in the area like Flowers, Gwen Park, help me out, Suitland. Roosevelt. Sorry if I disrespect other programs I'm not thinking of right now. Those were D1
Those are the only
programs.
ones that matter.
Those were D1 programs, and they were already acting like it, to the point where I tell my guys, you should be the police of the school. If you catch any JV players slacking, you are on them. That's the same treatment I got when I was a sophomore. I'll never forget my man 2-5. He pulled me out of goddamn class. I was like, what the hell's going on? When did you get power? Anyways, I'm excited he's gone. So let me get mine out the way. I'm sorry, Ron Rivera got to go.
Dude, if he was going tomorrow, I'd understand completely.
And I only say this just because of this. You lose the locker room based on how you're switching players up, and you already knew that player was a bum.
Especially the most coveted position in all the sports, quarterback.
Yes, and then you get to your third string with Sam Howell. Next thing is, from a wide receiver standpoint, so I could win you over. They're not really using TJ McLaurin to his full ability.
They can't.
To the point where it's very hard to have him in a lot of wide receiver conversations because he has so much of a limited route tree there. Like when I look at him, he looks guardable. But it's also, at the same time, from a look standpoint, obviously, I could look at one thing, look at the TV, but at the same time, I can know better when I see in person. Schemes play a lot when it comes to a success of a receiver. And yes, you do have receivers who are all that one-off, like D-Hop, T.O., Mo, where no matter good ball, bad ball, I can take care of it. But there's others where it's like, it goes hand in hand. But anyways, that's Ron Rivera. We move on from his bum ass. The person who should stay, that I've been hearing about who should go, is Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy should not leave because Dak is out there throwing stupid ass interceptions.
I mean, and he's the perfect head coach for Jerry Jones. He's going to do just enough, say just enough, and he'll let you be Jerry and run the show. He doesn't need the limelight.
But the problem I have, kind of like what has been on today with ESPN First Take with Brian Leftwich, it's crazy when someone wins, the quarterback gets all the praise, but then when someone loses, we shoot straight to the coach about what's going on. And like going back to Tom, last time I checked, you got 7 rings. Last time I checked, and I tell this to my guys all the time, whether you are, mostly vets, like I've been around on y'all, you know what's a good pass, what's a bad pass, to the point where you could come to the coach and be like, hey, let's do this. Mm-hmm. You have just as much power to say about what play call you want to do in order for your team to be successful. We've seen it with Drew Brees, and we've seen it with Peyton Manning. And I'm saying Tom Brady because if he's that, well, not if, he's that GOAT, he's not my GOAT. My GOAT's Jerry Rice. But you're going to call him that, it comes with certain expectations. You should be an offensive coordinator in itself. And when you watch how he plays, that's not the coordinator for an interception. That's on you, my guy. My guy did a 180 through the ball as if Mike Evans came down with it and Javon Curse came down. So those are my 2 guys.
Yeah.
All right. Can I respond to both of you right quick?
Who's the both?
wrote it down.
There's like three of us.
I know. You're gonna see when I start talking. All right, for Tomlin. I've always seen that the window, the Super Bowl window for teams occurs when the QB is on a rookie contract, right? A lot of the time. You can like bring a Brady, but outside of that, a lot of the time it's a rookie QB, right? Because you can funnel all the money to the rest of the squad. The fact that he went like 8-9 or whatever, no, 9-8 this year, I think next year he's gonna pick it up because they're gonna do something in free agency. Pittsburgh's still like a destination. But yeah, I get it, like the one more year part. Ron, for you, you said Terry McLaurin, that he don't run all the routes. He physically can't because of his injury history. Yeah, I was talking to other people that were like in the org. They're talking about like him running slants is like really bad for his health.
Can I interrupt you real quick?
But he runs them.
I know, but not often.
That's what Taylor Heineke.
Listen, you know he scored for drag this past weekend, right? You know, a drag and a slant's not too far. You're still coming across the middle of the field.
No.
He doesn't do it as like Terry McLaurin this past weekend. He wasn't playing.
He scored Sam Howell. I swear to God, I just seen.
Oh, you said the past weekend. Yeah. All right, but
Last game.
yeah,
Last time we saw
get
it.
I get it, but like based on his injury history, they don't want him running those routes as often as like he would have. That's all I'm saying.
I understand. But you don't have the quarterback to get him the ball.
That's true.
If you've noticed, Terry's a better 50-50 ball guy than people give him credit for.
Sure
Exactly.
is.
I agree.
And double coverage guy.
Right.
Yeah, agree.
He doesn't have the quarterback to get him the ball. Right? Go ahead.
But that's why I said it's the scheme too, though, to make things easy for you. Like that's like prime example, right? That's like because we know there's some basic coaches that do this, right? Rough estimate. Mo runs a 4.2. Rough estimate. I don't really know Mo's number, but Mo can run, right? Most coaches want to keep on sending him on deep patterns. Now, is that really healthy for Mo, or do you want to put him in a position where you can put him in open space?
Yeah, you want to get the ball at,
There has been plenty of times where I have watched Washington because the other channel has a bum-ass game on, and they do not put that man in open space.
Okay.
And you know whose fault that is? The guy that just got departed. I've been telling people, Scott Turner is the worst offensive coordinator in the NFC East.
Which is a shame because his father was pretty damn good.
Which is a shame.
As a coordinator.
Yeah, which is a shame. Like they drafted a wide receiver that converted to running back, and that wide receiver that converted to running back, Antonio Gibson, was not a third down back, which doesn't make any sense to me. You see what I'm saying? In this guy's scheme. Terry McLaurin shows you that he has down the field ability on 50-50 balls. He shows you that the stop route, the comebacks, those post routes, he can run them. You don't send them on them all the time. Maybe because of the limitations of your quarterback. Probably so. Alex Smith did not have the most talented arm when he got here. And Taylor Heineke took over in the playoff game. And then they went and got Fitzpatrick. He busts his hip up first game of the season. Taylor Heineke comes in. And you see the shortcomings of Taylor Heineke as a football player because he doesn't have the arm talent, right? He has the moxie. He's really tough. He's gritty. But those are not adjectives I want for my quarterback. I want rocket arm. I want precision passing. I want all of that. And I like to believe that he couldn't see past the line a lot of the times.
No, they had to roll him out like they used to do for Joe Theismann.
You see what I'm saying? So like when you roll him out, now you cut down half the field. You cut down half the field. You see? So Ron, you gotta understand, like when you put a guy on one side of the field and you tell him stay there, and we're gonna come back to you, and the quarterback breaks the pocket, and he's not the most talented.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
No,
you have issues.
I'm with you on that, but my thing is, it's the same thing for quarterbacks, though, right? Like I'm speaking to coaches here. You can put a quarterback in an easy situation to make him look good. I'm saying that the coaches don't do that.
They don't do it with Terry though. Like if you look at what Carson's in the game, when you look at what Carson Wentz in the game, who's his most targeted receiver?
It's Terry.
No,
it's not. Or the
Curtis
Who?
Oh, Curtis Samuel.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I want to know. I don't watch some bums that much.
Right?
And when I do, let's see.
You got to understand, Carson Wentz likes the tight end and he likes the slot, right? So they run a lot of jet motion to offset other things later on in the game. run a lot of drags with Curtis Samuel to give him the ball right now. He's just not an adequate enough player, right? Now, when Taylor Heineke comes in the game, backup mentality. Who I'm throwing the ball to? The best person on the field.
Right. Somebody's got to bail me out.
So that's why Taylor Heineke comes in, and Taylor Heineke comes in, and Terry McLaurin's numbers get astronomically better. He gets like 8 to 10 targets a game versus 4 to 5. Like, there's no way that Terry McLaurin, being the highest paid player on this team, gets 1 ball per quarter. That doesn't make sense.
One more thing for Greg. Would you want to live in Pittsburgh?
Say that again.
Would you want to live in Pittsburgh?
Oh, for job security purposes, absolutely.
See,
I'm done with you. Moving on. I'm done with you. The national championship. This is an open platform. Did y'all really see that going that way?
Yeah, because the national championship was on New Year's Eve.
What does that mean?
The Ohio State game was the national championship.
Yeah, that was.
Because here's and this is where I think the committee screwed up. They tried to be heroes, and here's where the committee screwed up. You should have made Ohio State number 3, because you get Michigan Ohio State rematch in round 1, and then you get TCU out the way early because nobody wants to watch them play Georgia in the national title. We know that's going to be child abuse on Channel 7, right? So that being said, we get to see between Michigan and Ohio State, knowing that they both travel. By the way, diehard Ohio State fan, don't shoot me. But knowing how well Ohio State travels and Michigan travels, think about the money, the advertising, the rematch, everything you'll make. The committee's all about money. That's why we still have bowl games, right? So that in itself has you thinking, oh, damn, let's see what happens here. And whoever comes out of that, you feel at least is worthy to play Georgia. After the TCU game, when they beat Michigan, nobody said TCU was worthy of one of these 2 teams that they might play. You knew Georgia would ransack them, and you knew they don't have the big boys to stop Ohio State from running the ball, or they can't move it on them defensively. You knew it. And especially after, the only thing that gave TCU hope was watching the Ohio State game going, I don't think Ohio State's that good. And they almost beat Georgia. Maybe we got a shot. Because we just saw Ohio State get the dog sheet beat out of them by Michigan on Thanksgiving. That's the only thing that gave them boys any sense of hope. But if the committee was smart, they would have made Ohio State 3, because even if you make them 3 and leave TCU 4, nobody can honestly argue TCU should be ranked ahead of Ohio State. You can't honestly say, bet your mother's life and your salary on it, you'd put your money on TCU to beat OSU. You wouldn't.
Mo, let's get this quick. I think this is easy money. I what I need to say about this.
Hey, I have nothing to say after that. That man said everything I would say. Like, I knew that game was going to be so bad. I bet that they was going to skunk them. Like, I took the alternative spread the other way.
Yeah.
I gave everybody a 21-point advantage. All my bets was $21 because that's how much I said they was going to beat them by.
James,
this is Michigan's fault, but yeah, they shouldn't have lost to the TCU.
It's 100% their fault.
Yeah.
No, they should have lost.
But Blake was out of that game. Blake Corum changed that game.
Blake 100%. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. I'll admit that.
And I'm a homer for Blake Corum because he's my cousin. He's my friend's cousin. But like, Blake Corum changes that game. That thunder and lightning aspect, they didn't have that in that game, where he's the lightning. Even though he runs with power, and he's a dynamic runner. I mean, I think up to that point, right before he got hurt, he was buzzing in the Heisman talk. You know what I mean? I think, and it wasn't for no reason. He's small, but like, he packs a punch, man. I see a lot of Maurice Jones-Drew in him. You know what I mean? Just a little bit,
running back.
a little bit, yeah. So
he put up 45.
I mean, I'm thinking with him, I'm thinking a better Darren Sproles, because Darren Sproles at Kansas State was absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
I think he's a little bit better between the tackles than Darren Sproles, though.
Oh, yeah,
I think Darren Sproles
is
like that.
That I would agree.
Yeah, I think that's why I said Mojo. I think he's just a faster Mojo. Before Mojo put on that weight, you know what I mean? So,
but
you put on weight by the way he hit Sean Merriman's ass and decked him.
James, did you say anything? All right.
Well, I mean, I'm saying they gave up 51. Like that. How does that happen?
Yeah.
I got a funny story.
National champ, and everybody talks about parity in college. Nobody wanted to see. Everybody, oh, Nick Saban's going to rig it and he's going to get in. You should have let Alabama in that thing. Should have put Bama in there and let it really be what it should have been.
For what you got, yeah.
You should have let Bama in there. It would have been a different outcome.
Yeah.
Especially because you would have had SEC versus Big Ten in both games. And that would have been dope.
In both games.
Yeah.
You talk about some bread.
Bread, right.
You talk about some bread.
All right, let's get to the conversation that's going to raise a lot of eyebrows.
Oh, man, what you got? Mills?
Raise those eyebrows. We all better have the same top three is what I know. I'm getting off this call.
Who is your top 5 deep threats at the wideout position in order?
Today?
Don't say why. Don't say why. Just shoot it out. Because I know
today.
Right now, yeah. I mean, no, in in general, overall.
In history?
In history.
Oh, I thought it was now.
Ready for that. They wasn't ready for that.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all not ready? I can shoot mine out first then.
I'm ready. Shoot.
All right.
Yeah,
mine, obviously, you're Randy. Okay. Calvin Johnson. Third is Deshaun Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is the part I got really hard at. Pause. I was like, because I seen them play and I seen the damage that they did. Mike Evans might have to be in my top 5.
Ever?
As far as my eyes, you feel me? Because I can't really go back to the James Lawsons and stuff and everything because it gets into a whole new.
Ain't nobody doing that.
I mean, it gets into another whole little whirlpool of a conversation and stuff. And I'm not really trying to get it. I don't want the old heads calling my phone because it's been a back and forth about that. And I don't really got time for that. And so let me just say the last 3 people: Ted Ginn and Tyreek Hill.
I don't know if Ted Ginn was a deep threat. I just think he was a really, really fast receiver.
But here's my answer. Here's my
better return man.
But here's my DB perspective on this. This is my DB perspective on this. If majority of your reps is running deep routes, I consider you a deep threat.
Yes, but where's his production as a receiver?
His best production was with Carolina when he went to the Super Bowl. It
was, but I'd have to look at his numbers and his average and long and all that. I just have to see that.
No, I feel you. But that's where, like, because, while y'all think about y'all's and everything, because, everyone gets their mind going. Like, I was having a conversation earlier about LeBron James and Kobe real quick, right? LeBron is the better scorer. Kobe is the better prolific scorer. There's a difference. Kobe can hit you from different clips.
From anywhere.
LeBron is just more efficient when it comes to putting the ball into the basket because of how he goes about it.
Well, and I mean, his average shot is inside I'd say he's more dominant. Kobe's more skilled.
Right. But that's just to explain kind of what I'm thinking about when it comes to wide receiver, like to a threat, because people think like, oh, why are you leaving D-Hop? D-Hop is a threat because he can hit you with the whole route tree. Yeah. I'm talking about guys, if I run with you, this is what you're really good at.
I'm getting left. Right.
Or not just get left, like, because my definition, and it applies for different people just because of people's measurables. Like Tyreek is not much of a red zone vertical dude, but if you're a guy like a Randy or a Calvin, you're running far as hell, and then like you just jumped over me, I gotta give you that. That makes you a deep ball thing. And we definitely seen Calvin jump over 3 dudes. You feel me? Like it's just like that's a lot. You mean? Just
all right. So you want my list?
Yeah, I want your list.
All right, I'm gonna count backwards. All right. At 5, and this is controversial because of how things ended, but I've seen him just take the top off and do wild stuff down the field.
AB.
Dude, AB was a deep threat. AB's a deep threat.
Oh God.
He averaged 100. He averaged like 90 to 100 catches, man. He like 1,600 yards. That's not a deep threat.
No, but to me, he's a deep threat because of the amount of bang posts I've seen him beat people on down the field and go 8.
No. He can catch the deep ball. He was that good. Like if you say AB, you gotta say Julio.
Fair.
Let me let you finish your list. I'm sorry.
Okay, number 4, I got Calvin at number 4. 3, because I'm just thinking of who would I like theoretically match up physically against going down the field. 3, I got Tyreek. Because at any given play, he's going to run a 100-meter dash. 2, Deshaun. Deshaun's my 2. Because I think there was a period of time where he was the best all-around offensive weapon in football. Like that early 2010s range, every time you look on D-Jack Philly was just taking off. And number 1, Randy, the obvious.
I'm ready now.
I don't see how anybody could ever be in front of Randy Moss in this category.
Why you sit back and just say, I'm ready now?
Oh, yeah, because I finally got my list together.
Let's go. We hear it.
Yeah, and like typically when I do lists with my other co-hosts, I'm always the one that gets scrutinized. So this is good.
Okay.
I like this. I'm gonna go from 5 to 1 too. So at 5, nobody's ever gonna say this name on this pod probably. Cliff Branch. So that man, yeah, I watched Cliff. He averaged about 18 yards a catch, like in 20 postseason appearances. Like that man was a deep threat and finally got in the Hall of Fame after he died because NFL is a bunch of cowards. All right. Number 4, Tyreek Hill. Everything you said, like that man could take a slant and go 90, whatever, every time.
Devontae Adams needs 8 catches to take over a game. Tyreek needs 2. Like that's my logic.
Why don't you say Justin Jefferson instead of Tate? Damn it. Number 3, I have Calvin Johnson. And then number 2, Deshaun. Number 1, Randy. So we pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Except for Cliff.
Yeah. Mo?
Guys, the list is Randy Moss. He's the fastest person on the field, and you go over the top of your head. Number 2 is Deshaun Jackson, because to be that small, he was that like Deshaun Jackson. Look, I'm a Giants fan, so I have nightmares about this guy.
Oh damn!
I have nightmares about Deshaun Jackson. Not even just the bobble punt. Don't get me started. Like it's making me even feel bad about the playoff game we got against the Eagles this weekend because you just said that man's name. That's how terrified I am of Deshaun Jackson anytime he steps on the football field. So I got Randy Moss, I got Deshaun Jackson. Number 3, I'm going Tyreek Hill. I think that Tyreek Hill is an exceptional talent. I think that he didn't get enough credit early on in his career. And then when Patrick Mahomes came in his emergence, and just because Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes and he has no fall off this year, I think people forget that dude was a game changer over there.
Right, because their offense looks different this year.
Completely. Yeah. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is still good, but it does look different. And
it's a lot more intermediate. It's a lot more intermediate.
Let's not forget, Patrick Mahomes underthrew him in the Super Bowl because he's just that fast. Number 4. You guys got me thinking. You guys got me thinking about Calvin.
Tricky, bro.
Yeah, you guys got me thinking about Calvin, but like I look at Calvin like as an all-purpose receiver, right? Like I look at Calvin as an all-purpose receiver, like. But I'm gonna go Calvin 4.
Because part of that all-purpose is deep threat take. Just
right. I feel like the other 3 are more natural deep threats. Like you didn't see Randy Moss running too many slants, too many crossers, too many. I mean, like those guys were attacking you down the field at all times.
You knew what he was here for.
You knew what you was getting. Like you're gonna get that deep post, you're gonna get that deep comeback.
Right.
The comeback is the only legitimate route that they was running for real. I mean, they was just stretching the field, whether it was across or wide. I mean, wide or down the field. So I'm gonna go Calvin number 4. Number 5. I'm gonna keep it in this era. Number 5. Julio. Because Julio had every phase of a career. If I'm gonna put Calvin in there, I gotta put Julio in there. Julio had the phase where he was the young pup that was just running up and down the field. Then he had the phase where he became the elite route runner. He had the phase where he became the 100 catch guy. You know what I mean? The only knock I have on Julio in terms of being a deep threat, well, then again, that doesn't count anyway. Red zone doesn't count as a deep threat.
I knew he was about to say that. I was thinking the same thing.
I'll say the same thing.
I mean, there was a 3-year span where my man was allergic to the end zone. Like it made no sense for his talent.
I lied. I got it. I'm taking Julio off.
Okay.
Mike Wallace. He didn't have a long career, but when it comes to deep
Mike
ball,
Wallace in Pittsburgh ran the 200-meter dash on you. Yeah.
Yes. He didn't have a long career, but remember, Ron, him and Deshaun Jackson were rivaling each other for a couple of years. It wasn't long. It wasn't a long period. But like just going deep, just like literally beating you deep over the top. I like Mike Wallace's 3-year run, and then that 1 year he had in Miami. I understand why you wouldn't put him top 5. But if I'm just talking about,
I respect what you're saying because when
I think of deep threat, I'm not thinking about a route runner. Like I come from the school of Torrey Holt. I love Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce,
yes,
Marvin Harrison.
My favorite receiver is Torrey Holt, hands down.
Torrey Holt's my favorite wide receiver of all time. I don't care what nobody says. He might not be Randy Moss or none of that, but big game. That's how you're supposed to.
He should be on TV.
And his production was stupid for how long?
But thank you. You talking about consecutive 1,300-yard season, consecutive 1,100-yard season. You talk about Triple Crown twice in his career, man. Look, why that boy ain't in the Hall of Fame yet is a travesty.
And I don't know why people act like he didn't run a consistent 4.2. Yes, he did.
He's not in the Hall of Fame just because of the logjam, but he should be on TV. That would help his case. That's all.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Fair.
Because he has the personality to be on TV.
Yeah,
like for real.
So we're gonna end this. We're gonna end this part with this. I'm gonna say this one thing because I'm not gonna ask the question. I'm just gonna say something. How would you feel if I told y'all I feel that Justin Jefferson is a little bit too overhyped? How would you feel?
I agree because everybody thinks he's better than Tate, and it ain't fucking true.
No, he ain't better than Devontae Adams.
No. Let's stop here. Let's stop. Take your Raider cap off.
He's not better than Tate.
Take your Raider cap. No. I'm not saying he's better than Tate. I'm not saying he's better than Tate.
Okay.
You have to look at his body of work when he's been in the league. His 3-year run, like he's 3 for 3. 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro. Like the dude, I think he's the closest thing we have to Devontae Adams.
Okay, wait, hold on. Like, all right. So I'm not going the route that Ron is, right? I'm just saying he's not better than Tate. I think he's amazing, right? The difference between the start of his career and Tate started his career. What the hell's Ron doing? It's just the fact that Devontae Adams had to deal with Aaron Rodgers, who doesn't trust rookie receivers unless he has to.
But he wasn't ready when he first came. He wasn't ready when and then I'm not throwing to you when I got Jordy Nelson. I'm not throwing you when I got Greg Jennings and Jordy Nelson, and I got Randall Cobb, and I had Donald.
And your tight end was Jermichael Finn.
Come on, dude. Like,
yeah. That's why his numbers aren't like how.
I'm not talking about the numbers. We're just talking about Devontae when he's become Devontae. We're good enough football. We're good enough football minds to talk about him.
It took him a minute.
Think about those 3 years where he was straddling almost 1,000 yards. You know what I mean? Like, he's the forgotten receiver in the Odell draft. Nobody remembers he's the 2nd round pick in the Odell draft after Jarvis Landry. Nobody remembers that.
Ron,
you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody remembers that. Like, but like we do because we like Devontae is excellent. Like when he got to his peak, he's excellent. But he also played with Aaron Rodgers. And
this year he played with Derek Carr.
He did. And don't get me wrong. Look at the Raiders though. Y'all force fed him. You know how that New England system do. Whatever works, we're gonna keep going to.
Now let me ask this pertaining to Justin Jefferson. Does playing with Kirk Cousins help him? Because Kirk's like, I just got to go to him. I'm average at that.
Yeah, that's true. But even this year, even more so than ever, because the coach